Yo, yo, yo. What's up, boys? I wanted to do an updated video on, hold on, let me put up the chat here. Okay. All right. Yeah, I want to do an updated video on the tanks. A lot of my, I guess first initial impressions kind of remain the same, you know? We're just going to wing this. This is coming straight from stream, so music's so loud. Okay, all right. So before we get started, I'm gonna say, if you didn't see my previous video, check the description. Yo, the description is not up here. It is not over there. It is not over there. It is down here. It is below the video. Check the description. I put all the shit in the description. If you have a question, probably check the description. I'm just saying. Anyway, so yeah, the last video I did was after the media tour. Was after the media tour, and a lot of my opinions pretty much stayed the same, but there were some that I feel like I didn't get enough playtime, you know, last time, so it was kind of impossible for me to tell. But I'll just kind of go through the tanks on which ones that I think kind of need changed a little bit, you know. Music is too loud. No, it's not. Okay, so I'll just start with Warrior, because Warrior, a lot of my initial impressions still remain the same. Oh shit. Wait, we're good, right? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's fine. So a lot of my impressions pretty much remain the same. The biggest complaint right now I have is Storm's Eye. At this point, I wonder why this is even in the game. Also, I wonder why Storm's Eye doesn't have a gauge, but Darkside does. Like, why does Darkside have a gauge, but Storm's Eye doesn't, Shifu doesn't, Jinpu doesn't? Like, this is the most unneeded gauge. But anyway, so I think Storm's Eye, it's gotta go. Because at this point, this isn't like skill intensive to put this up, right? It's just annoying. It's just annoying to put this up. Because you have to expend three GCDs where the other tank doesn't. Where the other tanks don't. You know what I mean? So, I think this is really tedious. I think that they should just remove Storm's Eye and just buff all their potencies. Because at this point, Storm's Eye is just really tedious. At least in my opinion. I think it's really tedious. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in thinking that. But I mean, in a release, you know, it's the same. I kind of wish they would have changed it to damage still. A lot of my opinions still remain the same. I actually like Home Gang better though. After using it, I don't mind the... So in the media tour it was 3 minutes, and then they changed it to 4. But with the change, you also don't have to have a target, and you can move while doing it. So that's really good. I like that. I think I'd rather have this version, to be honest. You do take a hit, but yeah. I mean, is this really like... So Storm's Eye is saving this for you? So Storm's Eye is that important to you? Really? Okay, I guess. This is really skill intensive, huh? Doing this. Oh man, this is skill intensive, dude. This is hype right here. Storm's Eye. Oh fuck yeah, Now you know what I'm doing. I'm spamming Storm's Path. I'm spamming it. Oh man. Man, if you play Warrior, you play Dark Knight. I don't know what game you're playing, but Warrior and Dark Knight are like virtually the same fucking class. So you can just get all that. I don't know what imaginary world you're living in, but they're very similar. They're very similar. You need to, yo, come in. This is Earth. We need you to come back down. Yeah. Come on. Come on. No. Storm's Eye needs to go. It needs to go. Get it. You know what else is annoying too? You know what else is annoying? When you're in dungeons. And I know dungeons don't really they don't really hold much value, you know? But Mithril Tempest, this shit needs to be extended by more than 10 seconds. This shit is annoying. This shit is annoying. Like having to put up 3 GCDs just to be like still less damage than some of the other tanks is fucking stupid. They need to change this. Okay, you know what? I'll meet you halfway. How about this? Instead of changing, instead of removing Storm's Eye, which they're not going to do, how about they just increase the duration to like 40 seconds? Wouldn't that be better? Just increase the duration to like 40 seconds. Jimpu is 40 seconds. Shifu's 40 seconds. Why can't Storm's Eye be 40 seconds? Darkside's a fucking minute. Alright, but anyway. So I guess... so I'm not the biggest fan of Storm's Eye anymore. I'm not the biggest fan of Storm's Eye. They either need to increase the duration or they need to remove it. They can also just, whenever you use a rage ability, just make it just like Dark Knight. Whenever you're on Dark Knight, you use an off GCD, boom, you get Dark Side. Whenever you're on Warrior, whenever you use a Fell Cleave or a Decimate, boom, you get Warrior Dark Side. You know, something like that. They don't have to do that, but just something like that. But basically, this being the way it is, needs to be changed, in my opinion. This needs to be like at least 40 seconds, at least. But you know what? That's not even a huge concern. That's not even a huge concern. I think Warrior's potencies need to be slightly buffed. Not a lot. Not a lot. Not crazy. Okay, not crazy. Just a little bit. In my opinion, Warrior is a lot harder than the other tanks. And your damage is not worth the reward. The rotation changes constantly based on comp. Whereas the other two are pretty static. In every No Mercy window, you want to get the same shit. In every wreck, you want to get the same shit. In every fight or flight, you want to get the same shit. You know, a vast majority of the time. You know, the difficulty from Warrior, in my opinion, doesn't come from inner release. It comes from all the shit that's in between. But even now, having inner chaos makes inner release clunky. Like inner release and inner chaos, man, they work against each other. You know. Because sometimes you'll be in an instance where you want to Fell Cleave, or I'm sorry, where you want to, you'll be at like 70 or 80 rage, and you can't infuriate because it gives you your gauge. So you end up so you end up using a Fell Cleave under Trick, but then, you know, doing this. So you have a choice. Do you Onslaught? You know, Onslaught's in kind of a weird spot too, but get to that in a second. But, sorry, I'm like kind of half paying attention to chat. Yeah, it's like, Warrior rotation is pretty, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. Sometimes I overthink Warrior. So maybe it's not hard and maybe I'm just overthinking it. But, I think the inner release, the inner release and inner chaos are a bit clunky. Not super clunky. But you know how Sonic Break is off the, it's not off the GCD, but like it doesn't share a weapon skill recast. You know, they need to do that with Inner Chaos. Like Inner Chaos doesn't need to replace Fell Cleave. It just needs to be on a GCD of its own. I don't know why it's not. It should be on a GCD of its own. Also, I think the Infuriate and Inner Release are too punishing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Just don't use Infuriate during Inner Release. Have you ever done Party Finder? Have you ever in your life done Party Finder? Yeah? No, you haven't. You're lying. People aren't that good. I see this all the time in Party Finder. Oh, fuck yeah, brother. Fuck yeah, inner release, infuriate. You know, that is a huge damage loss. What I just did is fucking, it's a huge damage loss. It's a huge damage loss to use infuriate when under inner release. And I see it all the time. So don't tell me it's easy to not do, because I see it all the time. And you hate to see it. You hate it. I think that this needs to be changed to make it more user friendly, honestly. Because when people, okay, look at it from a new player's perspective, right? You see this potency 590, and then you see that potency 920. The first thing you're gonna do is slam your dick on the keyboard as hard as you can to hit infuriate to get this, to unlock this ability. That's the first thing you're gonna do. You're not gonna think about anything else. You're gonna hit that infuriate. You're gonna hit this inner chaos under inner release. That's why this should have just been damage. You're gonna do it. So I just think it's clunky. It's clunky for no reason, and it works against its cooldown. You should not, like, the aspects of a job should not, like, work against each other. You know what I mean? But anyway, you know, like I said, a lot of my initial opinions remain the same, and I'm gonna try to make this not a 2-hour video. So gonna try to not linger too long here, but well, it can't block it though, is the thing. Because in some rare cases, it is a damage increase to use infuriate. Like if you're, like, let's say you're at the end of the fight, you're only going to get four fell cleaves off. It's better if you infuriate to get the last one as an inner chaos. So it's technically not a damage loss all the time, just a vast majority of the time. Like, I'm not going to say it wasn't tested. Like, it's a neat idea. It's a neat idea. It's a cool move. I still don't like that it's a crit direct hit. But I haven't liked that this is a crit direct hit, like, from the start, you know. I always thought it would just be better for damage. But, you know, the community cried, baby rage, and, you know, they got what they wanted. So hopefully by me crying and baby rage, I'm going to get what I want, you know. But yeah, I like the home game change even better. These two moves are insane. Flash is better than I originally thought, and Raw Intuition is better than I originally thought. Equilibrium is really solid now too. You can just use it, man. It's nice. It's nice. Thrill is a little bit better than I thought. I didn't really take into the HP recovery portion of it. You know, I didn't get to play near as much, so. But yeah, being able to buff your stuff's really good. But yeah, outside of the Storm's Eye duration window and the Infuriate going against inner release, outside of that, the only issue I have is Onslaught's just in a weird spot. It's just in a weird spot, man. Like, I feel like, because now the rage conversion isn't 100 potency for 10 rage anymore. It's much higher. So I don't know, man. This is just in a weird spot. It's almost a loss for even manipulation, like even rage manipulation. It's almost a loss to even do it. I don't know. Just in a weird spot. I almost feel like they should just take the easy way out and just make it like all the others. I mean, that'd just be the easiest fix. No, just the no-brainer. But right now, it's in kind of a weird spot. I don't know. I don't think the damage, like the low cooldown doesn't, I don't know. Or maybe it should give you rage. I don't know. Maybe it should give you rage. Maybe one charge, just be on a cooldown. Not, if it gave you rage, obviously not 10 seconds, but, you know. Or, you know, that's just an option. That's just an option. You know, just something like that. But as it is currently, I think it's in a weird spot. I think it's in a weird spot, man. 42nd would, I mean, it would, I don't know, it would be a damage increase, but it still wouldn't take away the clunkiness, though. Yeah, it still wouldn't take away the clunkiness. I mean, you'd still have this problem. Actually, the problem would be more intense because you'd be using this more. I'm not saying it would be bad. It It would definitely be a damage increase, but I think that would be the wrong way to go about it, because it wouldn't solve the core problem. At least my issue with it. I guess if other people have different issues, it might solve it, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but Warrior's pretty solid, man. It's pretty solid. It's really strong defensively. I just think it needs slight potency buffs. It needs slight potency buffs because I believe that because of the difficulty of the job, I think it should deal just a little more damage. Like not a lot. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But anyway, that's kind of all I had, I think. Yeah. That Flash is good, man. Flash is really good. I think that the Warrior definitely got harder. If people can agree to disagree on the difficulty of the rotation, I think it actually got harder because Inner Chaos makes it more clunky. However, I think we can all agree that Warrior got harder defensively because the use of Raw Intuition versus Nascent Flash, that's some big brain shit sometimes. Making the right decision is, I find, sometimes challenging. Sometimes you want to use this for the heal while you're tanking. Sometimes you want to use this while you're tanking. Sometimes you want to use this to heal your co-tank. Sometimes you want to use it for the mitigation. Sometimes you want to use this to heal an ally. Sometimes you want to use this to use mitigation on an ally. You know? Yeah, that's another thing too I wish they would have kept was the crit. Was the crit modifier on the rage. Not necessarily so much because of the damage, but because I just like the playstyle, you know? I just like the playstyle. Like, because now it doesn't, now you're not rewarded for keeping your gauge high. And I liked being rewarded for keeping your gauge high. I wish they would have kept it, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much though all I got about Warrior. Warrior is pretty good overall. I just think it needs some slight damage increase, potencies, and wish that Storm's Eye was slightly changed, and I wish Inner Chaos was slightly changed, and Onslaught. Onslaught's in kind of a weird spot, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see anyway. Yo, Paladin. Paladin's really simple. Paladin's really simple. It's good. I don't have a single issue with it. Not a single issue. It's good, man. I do have an issue that it's more beneficial to heal yourself under Clemency than it is for the White Mage to sacrifice their Glare cast. I have an issue with that. Yo, you know what? Going back to Warrior. Nah, you know what? You know what they could do to Warrior to give it potency buffs? Just give it Glare. Just give it Glare. Here we go. Y'all tell you what. Just give Warrior Glare. Here we go, right here. You want buff Warrior? Just give it Glare. You want to buff Warrior? Give it a healing ability. Give it one of the healers DPS. Buff it that way. Anyway. Paladin. Paladin's really solid, man. I mean, HG still HG. Sentinel got buffed. This is good. Sentinel got buffed. Rampart's good. They're lacking one personal CD. Like don't get me wrong, Sheltron's really good. You know, Ramparts, Sentinel. They're lacking, I think, one personal CD, but they make up for that with utility. They have the most utility, so that's good. Their rotation's really straightforward, man, for the most part. Wreck window, fight or flight window, Toma spam. It's nice, man. Gap closer. Paladin got a lot of quality of life. It's nice. Insta-cast. Insta-cast, dude. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. Oh, one sec. Actually, there is something I forgot about Warrior. I wish that you did not have to have a target for that move. I wish you did not have to have a target for flash. And the reason why is... Oh, man. And the reason why is because I want to be able to use Bloodbath if I'm the only person left alive. Like in dungeons or in like a primal or like a savage turn. You know, because you can heal yourself up for quite a bit with flash and like inner chaos. I really wish that they would they'd make it to where you can use it without a target, but if you use it without a target, you just get the bloodbath portion or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, going back to Paladin. Yeah, sorry about that. Kind of going out of order. Running off script here. Try to not make scripts anymore, man. I just like to just go with it, you know. But anyway, Paladin's really solid, man. It's really good. Does good damage. I think its damage is in the perfect spot. I think I think it's really good. I can't really complain. Can't really complain, man. It's pretty good. I mean, this still sucks being a 7-minute cooldown. It still blows me away that some people think that this is like the best invuln. I mean, in certain situations it is the best invuln, but in the majority of the time it is not the best invuln. At least in my opinion, anyway. 7 minutes. Whew! Clemency's really good. Really good for prog. Yeah, I think it's really solid. I don't really have much to... I mean, the cover change was needed. Nah. Come on. Let's be real here. Cover was broken. Cover was busted. Let's be real. Yo. Come on. You gonna tell me cover wasn't broken? Alright. It was needed. Although, you know, at first I thought the gauge costing was gonna be like a bigger nerf, but after playing Paladin, the gauge cost kind of doesn't matter. I find myself on Paladin just spamming intervention. Like, I just spam this because you don't need to Sheltron anymore for raid damage because there's no shield swipe. So, I don't know. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm overflowing with gauge anyway. So I don't know. Well, I think the reason they put a gauge cost on it was because they don't want the Paladin to cover tanks. Nah, it's just Sheltron's 20%. Block got nerfed. Yeah, block got nerfed. Yeah. Well, that's the point though. Like, that's the point. Cover isn't supposed to be used on the other tank. It's supposed to be used on like DPS and shit. Like, they didn't want people... I mean, you're still going to be able to cheese shit. Like, you can still cheese the 12 double buster or whatever. You can still cheese it. But they just don't want you... I mean, they just don't want you, like, super cheesing stuff. No, it doesn't stack. No. Because all the damage just goes to you. It's damage... yeah, just redirects damage. I mean, you can cover the other tanks, but at that point, you might as well just Evoke. Because you're... Like, before, when there was a 20% trade on it, you would actually gain mitigation because you weren't in Shield Oath, you were in Sword Oath. So whenever you covered something, it was like you were in Shield Oath. But now that's not the case because you don't have the trait. Yeah. So this is supposed to be more for like the party, not the other tank. But I don't know. I mean, I can see it both ways, though. I can see why they put the gauge cost on it, but I can also see... I think if they remove the gauge cost, it wouldn't change anything, honestly. It really wouldn't change anything. So the fact that it has a gauge cost doesn't really mean anything. I mean, if this didn't have a gauge cost, how often are you going to actually use this ability anyway? I mean, so on one hand, I can see why it costs gauge, but on the other hand, I also agree with you that if it didn't have a gauge cost, like, that it you know, it might probably shouldn't have a gauge cost, but I don't know. I guess when I play Paladin, I've never really had an issue with it yet, but then again, all we've done are EX primals, so, you know, we'll see. We'll know more when the raid comes out. But outside of cover, I don't know, man. Paladin is just pretty good. It's pretty good, dude. Iron Will. Let's go. Wish they would have kept it Shield Oath, but apparently this is like some lore shit. Would have felt good, dude. Put on Shield Oath. Oh, fuck yeah, man. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, it's still gonna be really good for like some mechanics, yeah. I think so. Uptime cover for that should still work. That's another thing too. That's like another thing too. The strength of an individual cooldown is less important now. And what I mean by that is because since tanks have so many cooldowns, not only do tanks have so many cooldowns, but they can also help the other tank. Because of that, if one cooldown is like slightly worse than another cooldown, it doesn't matter because you can just buff the shit out of the tank anyway. You know? So, the fact that Sheltron got nerfed down to 20%, which having Sheltron remain at like, you know, what was like 28% or something was probably a bit much. Well, like if you look at, but basically now, every tank has a minimum of 10% extra mitigation because every tank can give another tank at least 10% mitigation. So on top of that 10%, you have all of that tank's cooldowns. And then worst comes to worst, you just swap. So you have, like, tanks have so many cooldowns now. I find myself just using cooldowns for greed. Just for greed. But like I said, maybe that'll change. Maybe that'll change, you know? Like when the raids come out. I really don't think it will. I don't think that they're going to gear the raids for super high damage, but they could. They could. I don't think they will. I think they're going to keep the exact same formula because where Savage difficulty is perfect. Like where they want it. And I agree with them. I think it's really good. I think that the current Savage difficulty is really good. Do I want something more like Midas? Yes. But would it be better for the community? Gordius sure as fuck wouldn't. Midas? Maybe? Maybe not? I don't know. Me personally, I think Midas was probably the best raid tier. But I think that's just a bit too hard. I think it's a touch too hard. Just a touch. Just a touch. But maybe I'm wrong. But I think Creator was really good difficulty. And they said they wanted to start with that, so. Yeah, so. So I don't think there's going to be a shit ton of damage in raids. I could be wrong. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see. But I think the strength of an individual cooldown just by itself is less important now. And I think that you have to look in the grand scheme of things because in a raid setting, you're going to utilize you're going to utilize that shit. You know, you're going to utilize intervention. Well, I mean, you should have already been doing it, but my point is that, you know, Gunbreaker has Heart of Stone, you know, Black Knight or Dark Knight has TBN, Warrior has Flash, you know, so the tanks can all help each other, which is really good. So in addition to all of your cooldowns, you at least have 10% from the other tank. So I think that the strength of an individual cooldown is less important, and the strength of the overall kit is more important. Oh, nah, man. I just wash it. Just wash it every day. Every day, brother. Yep. Before Savage, I'm gonna go get my head shaved again. Have a hot towel on it. Get the beard trimmed up. It's gonna be nice, dude. Yeah. I mean, even if we have to, I don't like. Even if I don't think we'll have to do that. But even if we do, for the second buster, we do one of two things. We either swap or we just hold and gang it, or we just invuln it. We either swap or invuln. And then on the one that comes up after that, all of our cooldowns are going to be up again. So even if they do make us double or triple stack cooldowns, it's really not going to matter. I mean, you're either just going to swap or you're just going to invuln the next one and then just rotate. But anyway, yeah, that's, I mean, I don't really have any. Confiteor's good. Tome spam's good. AoE's great. Instacast is probably the best thing that I've played in this game. Dude, just being able to do this, dude. Oh, this feels so good, dude. This feels so good. Why? Oh, man. Oh, look at this, dude. I don't even give a fuck, dude. I don't even give a fuck. Look, I don't even give a fuck. I'm like, yeah, look at all the fucks that I don't give right now. Look at all this, dude. I don't give a single fuck right now. Look at this. Boom. Later, bitch. I don't even give a fuck. Oh, Paladin is... It's good, a level 80. That's good, brother. Pick up the sword and board. Alright. Saving Dark Knight for last, because I got a lot to say about Dark Knight. Wait, it's bothering me. Alright, Gunbreaker. I just want to point out again. Remember how everyone was so butthurt? Oh, but it's damage. But I saw a spreadsheet. But no, Xeno, it's damage, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned about Gunbreaker's damage and their rotation. I'm concerned. I'm going to make a Reddit post. Remember all the butthurt? Remember when I said Gunbreaker's going to be fucking lit? Remember when I said it's going to be fucking lit and not to listen to any dumbass fucking spreadsheet or fucking idiots that want some E-fame and E-cred? Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Well, Gunbreaker's lit. Matter of fact, I think it needs to be toned down a little bit. It's so lit. I think it needs to be toned down a little bit. Gunbreaker's pretty strong, man, and it's fun. Yeah. It's fun, man. At least in my opinion. I like the ammo combo. Aurora. This is really good. Throw this up on the tank. Throw this up on yourself. Heart of Stone. That's my shit right there. Heart of fucking Stone, dude. Heart of Stone. It's so good. It's so good. Every time I use Heart of Stone, I think to myself, I'm so fucking glad this isn't TBN. Oh, God. Heart of Stone is so good. It's so good. It's so good. I'll get to TBN in a second. So good. I'm a fanboy for Heart of Stone. I got a t-shirt. I went to their concert. I was in the front row. Was cheering them on. Yeah, so this is really good. Use on yourself. Yeah, use on the tank. 25 second. Yeah. Aurora is good. Gunbreaker's fucking solid, man. It's really good. This is okay. So this is a little better than I anticipated. A little better than I anticipated. But the reason this is a little better than I anticipated is because, okay, so my biggest issue with this was the cooldown. It was 90 seconds. I didn't think the 10% mitigation on 90 seconds was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a little weak. I still think it's. I still don't. It's still worse than this. Okay, it's still worse than the fucking roll skill. Okay, that's for sure. Well, at least in my opinion. But it's not as bad as I thought. And the reason why it's not as bad as I thought is because, as I mentioned earlier, all the tanks, all of their cooldown, like basically they got more cooldowns, right? Because now every tank has a 2 minute, or I'm sorry, minute and a half and a 2 minute. So basically, because this is a minute and a half, and because Heart of Stone is so short, these two kind of pair up well together. The parry shit still needs to go, I think, but it's not as bad as I originally thought. I don't know how they could slightly buff it. Maybe make it like, I think 60 seconds. If they kept the 50% parry, if they kept it exactly how it was, but just change it to like 60 seconds, I don't think it would be busted. I think it would be really, really good. I don't think it would be busted, but I think it would be really good. But as it is now, in my opinion, I think it's kind of weak, but it's not super shit. Dark Mind is super shit. Camouflage is... If you have a shit bucket, Dark Mind is at the very bottom. It's like right above like Living Dead, right? Okay. It's like on top of Living Dead. It's like standing on top of Living Dead trying to climb out of the bucket. Camouflage is hanging on to the edge of the shit bucket. So it's almost out of there. It's almost out of there. You know? It's almost out. You know? Heart of Stone is like, yo, let me help you, brother. You know, Heart of Stone's up there, dude. It's just trying to help. Okay. So we're almost there. Now, as I mentioned earlier, or you know what? Just cover this real quick. This move right here that everybody thought was bad. Everybody thought was bad. This move right here. This move is better than I originally thought. This move is fucking awesome. This move just... It's like on a cloud looking down at Living Dead and just getting a nice chuckle. Just getting a nice chuckle. You know, that's what it is. It's like... It's so much better than Living Dead. When I first used this ability, I was like, okay, well, this is kind of bad because it was 6 minutes. Or, sorry, it was 7 minutes. It was 7 minutes. It's shared Hallowed Grounds cooldown. But this being 6 minutes and giving you 8 seconds of Hallowed, that's pretty good. I mean, you go to 1, but you know what you can pair this up with? Boom. You're not a 1 anymore. You're not a 1 anymore. Did you know that? You do now. Like, this really isn't that healing intensive. So, this move is better than I originally thought, too. Like, I thought it was decent. No, okay, well, at 7 minutes, I thought it was bad. I was like, no, this shit's going to be changed. This shit's going to be changed. And it was lowered, which is good. The invuln is really good. Goes to 1. Goes to 1. Yes, it sucks, but there's 2 things. 1, you're invulnerable, so any type of regen effect or anything will have full effect. You don't have to worry about it. As in, you don't have to worry about getting the regen ticked and getting hit and it being negated, basically. And 2, you don't have to heal. That's the most important part. You don't have to heal this. You don't have to heal this 100%. That's the most important part. So, if you heal 50%, 60%, 30%, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't die, which is really important. So this is really good. Yeah, so this is better than I initially anticipated. This is slightly better after, you know, getting some play, getting some training, some uses in. Still love this ability. This ability is so fucking good, man. This is one of This has got to be one of the top 3. Easy top 3 best tank abilities of this expansion. Easy top 3. Easy. Yeah, so Gunbreaker is really solid, man. It's really good. You get free uses out of this. If you're learning Innocence for the first time. The very first tank buster, if you use this, you'll get a free usage. So that's you can use this as a personal cooldown. It'll come back up in time. Yeah, so it's pretty good. But anyway, what I mentioned earlier about I think Gunbreaker needs to be toned down slightly. I think the potencies are just slightly too high, just a little bit, not a lot, not a lot, not a lot. It's not a lot, just slightly. Also, keep in mind that Gunbreaker is the only tank that takes advantage of every single raid buff. None of the other tanks do. All the other tanks, there's at least one raid buff that they do not take advantage of. So because of that, on top of the average potency, I think Gunbreaker needs to be toned down just a little bit. Just I'm not talking a lot. I'm not talking like slashing 100 potency here, 200 here, 500 here. I'm talking like maybe 10, 20. That's it. Like 10, 20. Gunbreaker is really fun, man. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I really liked playing it at the media tour. I knew it was going to be good. Dude, when I used the ammo combo for the first time, I was like, yeah, this shit's fucking lit, dude. This is fun, man. Yo, ready to rip, dude. Ready to gouge, man. Let's go. Let's go, dude. Ready to rip. Boom. Ripping. Ready to tear. Boom. Tearing. Ready to gouge. Boom. Gouging. And we out. Man, that's fun. Yo, that's fun. Come on. Come on. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's fun, man. It's got interesting shit. You know what I find funny is they give Gunbreaker Scourge, but not Dark Knight. Like, what is their reasoning for taking combos? That's all they do from Dark Knight. That's all they do. They just take shit. They just take everything. Oh, I'm gonna take this GCD. I'm gonna take this off GCD. Oh, that combo, we're taking it too. We're just taking shit. That's all they do. That's all they do. Is take shit. Poor Dark Knight. All right. Anybody got it? Does anyone have anything else to say about Gunbreaker? Yeah, they're taking everything but Living Dead. They're taking They're taking everything but the one thing we want them to take. Yo, we're trying to throw it at them. We're trying to throw Living Dead out. They're like, I don't want that shit. I don't want that shit. Not us. Not even the devs want that shit, dude. They're like, no, we put it on the we put it on the job is staying, dude. All right, anyway. All right, so overall, Warrior. We'll do the recap after Dark Knight. All right, so Dark Knight. All right, now let's talk about the good things first. Okay, the good things first. TBN. It's a hell of a strong shield. That's a hell of a strong shield. It's a good shield. It's good. This Dark Missionary, it's good raid utility. It's good. Now. All right, now the next good now the next good thing. Yeah, this is not free. If you think TBN is free, you need to have your fucking head examined. This is not free. Here, let me show you what a free ability looks like. Oops. Let me show you what a free ability looks like. You know what a free ability looks like? This is a free ability. Right here. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. Oh, isn't this nice? Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Alright, so the playstyle of Dark Knight. The playstyle of Dark Knight People are going to enjoy it depending on if they like warrior. Or if they like, you can look at it a couple different ways here. If they like warrior, or if you like to spam. If you enjoyed spamming dark arts, then you're probably not going to like the new Dark Knight, because the new Dark Knight is way less spammy. So if you enjoyed spamming dark arts, you might not like the new Dark Knight. I do like the new Dark Knight. I think it's really fun, actually. I think these moves, I think these edge moves are a neat idea. I think it not only feels good to use, but it's, looks really cool. And plus it gives you instant. I don't know why there's a dark side gauge. Like, this is really unnecessary. This is really unnecessary. Like, what's wrong with a buff? What's wrong with a buff? Like, what if whenever you use dark side, you just got a buff, right? You just got a buff right there, right? Like, what's wrong with that buff? I don't understand why dark side has a gauge, but you know what? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Shadow's pretty cool. Although I don't understand why the shadow has a gauge of its own when it could just be a buff, but whatever. Sometimes I just summon my clone and I talk to it. Hey man, you gotta make friends somehow, okay? Every 2 minutes I get a friend for 24 seconds. Farewell. This minute and a half is the worst when you're waiting on your friend to come back, dude. Fuck, man. Anyway, so depending on if you enjoy spamming or not will depend on if you like it. Delirium was changed drastically, so now it's Blood Spiller spam. So now this is in a release, and this is more or less in a release. You have two in a releases. You treat both of these like in a release. So the play style, the DPS rotation of Dark Knight, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. It's whatever. That's subjective. Okay, so the bad things, in my opinion. The bad things. Dark Mind. Some people are okay with this being nerfed. I am not. I think the nerf was unjustified. I think that this cooldown is not very good. When you compare this to Sheltron, you compare this to Raw Intuition, even Camouflage. I think Camouflage is way better than this. This being only magic really fucking sucks. Now you would think, okay, well Dark Knight is the magic tank. Huh, that's funny. Because if you look at the other tanks here, let's see how many abilities can block magic on Warrior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, what about Paladin? Okay. Let's go to Paladin real quick. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Well, what about Gunbreaker, right? What about Gunbreaker? Okay, magic. Okay. So even though this has 50% parry, it can still mitigate magic. Dark Knight is not the magic tank. It is just the Gimp tank. It is just the tank that just has a cooldown that just sucks. So this is the only cooldown in the game that cannot mitigate both sources. That's it. That's what this cooldown is. Does no one else have a problem with this? I seem to be the only motherfucker that thinks Dark Mind sucks. This ability needs to be changed. I would take a 10%, 50% parry over this. Because this is useless on physical. Dark Knight is not the magic tank. So it's not the magic tank. It's just the non-physical tank on one of their cooldowns. So this needs to be changed. This is unfair. And that's why I feel that the nerf was unjustified. That's why I really feel the nerf was unjustified. If this is going to be Magic specific, then it needs to be fucking awesome on Magic specific. This is just a Magic Rampart. You think the 60-second fucking matters? No, it doesn't matter. I would take Rampart over this every day without hesitation. Without hesitation. This needs to be changed, in my opinion. I'm going to get to TBN last because a lot of people like TBN, and parts of TBN I think are really good. But there are parts that I do not think are really good. And I have reasons why I don't think that they're really good. Living Dead. If anyone thinks that this cooldown is good, you should not tank. Don't tank. Hang it up. Go DPS. Hang it up. Now, you know what? You think this cooldown's good? Heal it on healer. Go ahead. Go ahead. Heal this on healer, and then come back, and then be a tank main again. You use this like after you figure out like the priority system of when you use this is so low. It's so low, man. Oh my god, this is so bad. Not only do you continue to take damage, I knew somebody was going to say just Benny. I knew it because that's how you can tell a shit player right there. Just Benny. Just Benny it. Just Benny it. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. This is a black hole for other resources. This is a black hole for other resources right here. Just Benny it. Just Benny it. I didn't realize how many people said just Benny, and I was only looking at one. Anyway, if you put this on, we were having this discussion the other day. Let's pretend that Living Dead was from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. Okay, 2 extra minutes. 2 extra minutes shaved off. Would it still be shit? Absolutely. Absolutely would still be shit. Would still be shit. But just Benny it. Yo, but just Benny it. This would still be shit. All this would be is a worse Stormblood home gang. That's all it would be. If this was 3 minutes, it would just be home gang, Stormblood, just worse. It would still be worse. This needs to be changed. There's two. Okay, this is bad on like multiple fucking levels, but I'm just going to mention a couple of levels that it's bad on. One level is the healing portion. The healing. You should not have to be healed by 100%. That's a bit much. That's a bit much. At most 50. At most 50. If it was 50, it would be a decent. It would still take something, but it would take around the same shit as Super Bolide, Home Gang. It would take around the same shit. It would still take just a little more. It's just the clause that if the Dark Knight is not healed is so bad. It's so bad. So fucking bad, man. Well, even if you have Benny, having to save your benediction for this is awful when you could use it for other. Like, the point of Living Dead is it sucks up other resources when the other invulns don't. The other invulns do not suck up resources like Living Dead. Living Dead does. It's a black hole for any type of healer. Nah, you know what? Nah, you know what? Fuck it. White mages are doing so much damage anyway. Fuck them. Nah, let's keep Living Dead the same. Fuck them. Make them heal it. Make them heal it. Make them heal the Living Dead. Fuck them, dude. Make them heal the shit. That way us tanks can be better. Can be higher on DPS. That's what we need to do. Make them heal it. Fuck them. No. So, this needs to be changed. This needs to be changed. At least in my... This is all in my opinion. This is just in my opinion, man. And where my opinion comes from is from a general. It's not from a min-max, and it's not from the shitter state. It's from a general player base, like usability, like, you know, user-friendly perspective. At least that's what I'm trying to that's my mentality. That's the mentality I'm trying to have, is the usability. So like I said, people are going to be opinionated on Blood Weapon. They're going to be opinionated on Delirium. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. You know, that's going to be subjective. It's just how the job is now. It's just how the job is now. So if you don't like it, butt tough it out, Buster, because that's how it is. And that's probably how it's going to be until the next expansion. So get used to it or don't play it. Okay. I mean, there's some small stuff, you know, like, I don't know. This is kind of whatever. You know, this is still the same. This is good. But anyway, back to Living Dead. I just think it needs to be changed. I think it needs to be changed. I talked to Yoshi. Oh, shit. Yo, what's up? Yeah. I'm talking about it now. Oh, okay. Okay. You want me to come down? You want me to tell him? Okay, all right. Oh, you gonna fly me out? All right, cool. Yeah, done. All right, yo, we here with Yoshi. Yo, what's up? Yo, remember me and you talking about the Living Dead? What's that? Oh, you remember? Okay. Oh, shit. Let's go. Boom. Got him. Yo, know what the man said? All right, yo, just got back. Yo, sorry for that. Sorry, I had to go AFK. I just got back. He said that we're going to look into it. That's what he said. We're going to look into it. Have faith, man. I believe. No, he didn't say fuck him this time, dude. He didn't say fuck him this time. He said we're looking into it. So, hopefully this will be changed. All right. Now I want to talk about TBN because I have some strong opinions about TBN. I have some good opinions, or I have some positive things to say, and I have some negative things to say. And I'll give you my reasons. First off, the shield is hella powerful. It's good. The shield is good. But, that's right, there's a but. And there's a big but. And it's not a peach butt either. Oh, no. It's a Walmart butt. Yeah. This is the only ability, the only defensive ability that is tied to a tank's resource of damage. That is not okay, in my opinion. That is not okay. As I said earlier, the strength of an individual cooldown is slightly less important, and the overall kit is slightly more important, in my opinion. And the reason why is because tanks have so many cooldowns and so many ways to help each other. So, for example, let's say you take a tank buster and you have Rampart and TBN. You will survive that very same tank buster with Rampart and Heart of Stone. Want to know the difference? To use Heart of Stone, it does not require anything. It does not require mana. It does not require ammunition. It does not require shit. It is free, 100%. Dark, or TBN, this is not free. TBN is not free. At best, it is neutral. At best, it is neutral. Do you see the problem here? You see the problem. High risk, no reward. Here, let me do it again with my hands because it might be difficult to follow. You know what? We'll have the Beardhead. Hey, Beardhead. What's that? High risk, low reward. Okay. All right. Yo, he gets it. Okay. Now, if this was a damage increase, then I could, okay, you know, that's cool. This is a 500 potency fucking gamble. This is a 500 potency off GCD gamble. Now, one could say, well, but it's free because you're refunded. Yeah, well, in a perfect scenario, you don't need the extra mitigation. That's my argument. You don't need the extra mitigation. And the harder the boss hits, the more important, like the stronger the mitigation is gonna become. So the reward for using this is just neutral. There is no reward for using this. The recast time should be 10 seconds. What? How does... What? No. No. What? Anyway, this just needs to be like Heart of Stone. This just needs to be like Heart of Stone. They need to remove the mana cost. The only reason why this requires mana is because they wanted to keep dark arts in the game. Okay? Don't have a sheep mentality. Don't think that this is some intricate system played out. No. The only reason why this gives you a free ability here is because they wanted to keep the keyword dark arts in the fucking game for job identity. That's it. There's no logical reason. I mean, there's no real reason. If you made this like Heart of Stone, it would just be better. It would just be better. Just fucking 20% mitigation, slap a 25-second cooldown on it. Boom. There you go. Done. You know how much better it would be? You know how much extra mitigation that would matter using the current TBN over the one I suggested? Fucking goose egg. Goose egg. 0. Right here. Nothing. Goose egg. Or whatever. 15, 20, whatever. They could fuck with the... My point being is this, that they should just make this like Heart of Stone. Whatever. Because this is the only ability, and no one seems to have a fucking issue with this. Think the mechanic is interesting? No, it's not. It's not interesting. How is using a shitty Heart of Stone and not being rewarded interesting? Every time you use this, you're praying to RNGesus that it pops. How is this interesting? Oh, for those of you wondering why they can't make it to where give it the XCOG treatment is because you can use that out of battle. So if they give it the XCOG treatment, you have to make this usable only in battle. In my opinion, if they keep the mana on this, which I don't think they should. Basically, a defensive ability should not be tied to your damage. That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make here. A defensive ability should not be tied to your damage. They tried that shit with Dark Arts Dark Mind and it was fucking awful back then, and this is awful now. It's still awful. I have always thought this ability was mediocre at best. And I think it's worse now because, like I said earlier, my mentality on tanking cooldowns, each individual cooldown, the power level of it is slightly less important and the overall kit is more important because the tanks can help each other. So even though this is stronger than Heart of Stone, does it matter? No, not really. It doesn't matter at all. Because the amount of times that TBN is going to save you over Heart of Stone is going to be so fucking minuscule, man. It's going to be so fucking minuscule. It's going to be like a Vit meld. It's going to happen. It will happen. Okay, it will happen. I'm not saying that it won't, but I'm saying like a single Vit. It's just, dude, it will happen. But I'm saying it's going to be really fucking rare. It's going to be really, really fucking rare. Okay. So that's my issue with TBN. I'm not disagreeing that this is a powerful shield. This is a very powerful shield. This is a really good shield. But I think it comes at a cost. It definitely comes at a cost. I value resource cost extremely high. I value the availability and the CD timer, right? Now, yeah, this is 15 seconds, right? But it has a huge cost. Used to hate defensive CDs being used offensively, but now I love it for... Yeah. Like I said, I think I'm on an island of my own here. I just think that the cost needs to be removed. I think they need to change this. If they change this, this would be so much better. And the people disagreeing, I think they would like it better if this was changed. Like, if this was a okay, so here's the thing, right? If this was a damage gain, they cannot make this a damage gain. All right, now let me explain to you why they can't make this a damage gain. The reason why is because the ceiling of Dark Knight would go way, way, way too high, and the floor would go way, way, way too low. The average player will not use this properly. The average player can't even do this. The average player fucks this up, man. See that? See what I just did? Yo, I'm gonna do it again. Oh, and you hate to see it. The average player can't even do this right. So making TBN a damage increase? Nope. What's wrong with that, Draga? It's bad. Alright, so anyway, that's why they can't make this a damage increase, because I think that the ceiling of Dark Knight would be too high and the floor would be too low. Like, I want to like this ability. I do. I think the shield is very powerful. The shield is awesome. I just think the cost is too high. I think the cost is too high. I think having it cost 3,000 mana and being tied to your damage is fucked up. I think it's fucked up. And it's the only tank. Like, Dark Knight is the only anti-physical tank. It's the only tank that has its damage tied to... Like, these are old concepts. Like, get this the fuck out of here. Get this the fuck out of here. Streamline everything. You did it for everything else. Remember when Shadow Wall was 3 minutes? I was like, man, if they only made it 2, why don't they make it 2? Guess what? They made it 2 and it's fucking awesome. Remember when Sentinel was 3 minutes? And I was like, man, I hope they make it 2. I hope they make it like Vengeance. Why can't they make it like Vengeance? Well, finally we're here and it's like Vengeance. You know what they should do with this? They should just take the magic only off. They should make this like Heart of Stone. Just streamline everything. You know? You know, for how similar the tank cooldowns are, they play vastly different. Every tank plays a lot different from each other, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense to me why a defensive cooldown would come at such a high cost and only reward and just be neutral. Like, if this was... Okay, if this was a damage game, basically, the bottom point I'm getting at is that it's unfair. It's unfair. That is my point, is that it's unfair. It's unfair for TBN to be tied to your damage and not reward you for good play. And it should reward you. But they can't have it reward you, because if it rewarded you, then the ceiling of Dark Knight would be too high, the floor would be too low. At least in my opinion. They can't lower it to 2,000. They can't, because then it's a huge damage gain. If they made this 2,000, then you would spam this and never use your shadow, because this costs 1k less mana but does the same potency. They can't do that. So you would only use this when TBN is not up. They could do a lot of like, I don't hate this ability, right? I think this ability is good, but I hate I hate the way it's designed. I hate its cost, and it's not free. it's not free. No, this is definitely not free. Every time you use this, this is what you're doing. Oh, please fucking pop. Please fucking pop. Please fucking pop. Please fucking pop. Pop, 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 pop. No, 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 no! How many people right now have used TBN in the Twitch chat, used TBN, and it's not popped? How many people? Don't fucking lie. Don't fucking lie either. Don't fucking lie. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know what? I'm gonna put my hand up too. Me too. Me too. You know what? You know what? On this, fuck, what's today? Monday? This is Misery Monday. That's what this is. This is Misery Monday. Yo, we're having a meeting. Every Monday we meet up for Misery Monday and we talk about the TBN that never popped. It's like a sad childhood story. The TBN that never popped. You know, it's like the ugly duckling, but he didn't grow up to be a swan. He just died. Yeah, that's Misery. That's the TBN. Yeah. So, make it like Heart of Stone. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's unfair. I think it is. I think Dark Knight got the shit into the stick. I think that it's unfair that this is only magic. I think this is... Oh, there's so much unfair about this. Not even funny. And I think this is unfair that it's tied to your damage. That's what I think. I think it's unfair. Check the VOD, Chrono. Or Chrono Trigger. Sorry, we got like 2 Chronos in chat. Check the VOD. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, some people really enjoy this ability. They think they feel like they're rewarded for good gameplay, which you're not. You are definitely not rewarded for good gameplay. You just don't lose damage. That's the difference. You just don't lose damage. I mean, hey, you know what? I mean, some people like it. Actually, a majority of people disagree with me. A majority of people love this fucking move for some reason. I just cannot see why. I think it's vastly unfair. And I think when this doesn't pop, you kind of just want to kill yourself. Yep. When it doesn't pop, you just want to jump off of the platform. You just want to wipe it. You want to wipe it up. That's 500 off GCD potency, just gone. It's down the shitter. You know, it's just gone. It's a feels bad move. Feels bad move, dude. Yep. But hopefully they change it. It shouldn't clash with healer shields. It should be top priority. But let's end TBN. Let's end TBN. Let's end TBN on a positive note. Because whether you agree with me or disagree with me on the changes to TBN, that, you know, whatever. We'll see what they do. It's good discussion. However, I think we can all agree on something. I hope we can all agree on this. The duration should be increased. If they're not going to change anything about it, which it's whatever, the duration should definitely be increased. It should be at least 9 seconds, in my opinion, if they're not going to change it. Because from what I gathered, TBN, most of the people, they love it or they hate it. It's one or the other. But I think we can meet in the middle here and say the 7 seconds for a 25% shield is way too fucking short. What the fuck? 7 seconds? Those are the 7 seconds of your life. Those are the slowest. Dude, you hit this, it's like every second. Please pop. Please pop. Please. Is 9 too much? Dude. Yeah. Whenever you use TBN, The end result is one extreme or the other. You're never just like, okay. You're either, thank God it fucking popped, I kind of want to jump off of the platform now. I do not craft. I don't think the recast time is not an issue. I don't think this recast time is an issue. Is the recast time an issue? I don't think it is. Yeah, I think the recast time is fine. I've actually never really thought about the recast time being too good or too bad. I thought it was... I always thought it was fine, but... This is the cloud mount. This is the best mount in the game. Cannot get this mount anymore. Sucks to be you if you don't have this mount. Yeah, but you know, anyway, you know, just as a recap, real quick. You know, like I said, I don't want to make this a 2-hour video. I don't know how long we've been talking about it, but just a recap. Warrior overall is really good. I think Inner Chaos and Inner Release clash with each other. Makes it a little clunky. I think Onslaught needs to be changed. There's a majority of different ways that could change it. And I think Storm's Eye either needs to have the duration increased, or they need to just remove it and buff all the Warrior's potencies. Either one is fine. Doesn't matter to me. But 30 seconds I think is a bit too short. And I think it should be at least 40, if not a fucking minute like Darkside. But, you know, other than that, I don't really have too much. I wish Nascent Flash could be used without a target. It would be nice if these were on 2 separate cooldowns, but that might be... Just let me dream, man. Just let me dream that these are on 2 separate cooldowns. All right, okay. All right. Paladin, okay. All right, Paladin. Paladin is overall fantastic. It's awesome. It's a really good job. Really smooth. Plays really well. Not really much to say. It's a really solid job. I really like it. Gonna be super fucking good for prog. Gunbreaker. I think that this is like on the cusp of like needing to be changed, but not really. The 10% parry or the 10% mitigation is carrying this fucking ability so hard. If they lowered the recast, it would be... I think if they lowered the recast to 60, it would be fucking perfect. But might be too strong. I don't know. Overall, I think Gunbreaker is really solid. I knew Gunbreaker was going to be really good. I do think its potency should be nerfed slightly, just slightly. I think Dark Knight and Warrior's potency should be buffed slightly, and I think Paladin's potencies are right where they should be. And the reason why I say that these should be adjusted slightly is because I think Warrior and Dark Knight are harder to play, and Gunbreaker is the only tank that can take advantage of every single raid buff, and the other tanks, they cannot take advantage of every single raid buff. And what I mean by that is it doesn't matter what comp you have, if there's raid buff in it, Gunbreaker can take advantage of it. Paladin and Dark Knight cannot take as much advantage of Brotherhood. They take hits on that, and Warrior takes hits on Chain and Litany. So because of those reasons, I think the Gunbreaker potency should be nerfed very slightly. Also, I think Super Bolide is better than I had thought at the Media Tour, although I didn't get to use it too much at the Media Tour. But it's a lot better than I initially thought. And Dark Knight. Dark Knight, I guess to sum it up, if you like to spam, Dark Arts, you're probably not going to like it. If you don't like to spam Dark Arts, you're probably going to like it. If you like using in a release, you're probably going to like it. If you don't like using in a release, you're probably not going to like it. I think TBN should be like Heart of Stone. I think it is very powerful, but I think that its power level makes it not worth the resource cost. I value resource cost extremely high when it comes to CDs. And I think that the power level of an individual cooldown is slightly less important, and the overall kit is slightly more important. Not a lot. Not a lot. I think, yeah, so basically, in my opinion, I think it's unfair that Dark Knight is the only tank that has the defensive ability tied to their damage resource. I think that's unfair, and I think it needs to be changed. This should be like Heart of Stone, in my opinion. Dark Mind, I think it's unfair that it's a magic-only ability, and it's only 20%. Like, I feel that the nerf was unjustified. Again, I want to reiterate, Dark Knight is not the magic tank. It is not the magic tank. It is just simply the tank that doesn't tank physical as well as others. This should be like all damage, 60%. I don't know why they just don't make Dark Mind exactly like they should just make Dark Mind camouflage, but without the parry. Wouldn't that be so much better? 10% mitigation, lasting 10 seconds on a 60-second cooldown. Wouldn't that be so much better? Or like 15% mitigation, 10 or 15. That'd be so good. You'd have this up for so much stuff, man. This would be so good for autos. It's just free. It's just free. You know? I really don't like damage specific cooldowns. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I just wish that it would just be both instead of just one type. It's good that Dark Knight has raid utility now. This ability is really good. Dark Missionary is really good. This has got to be changed. I strongly feel the Living Dead should be changed. But I talked with the man, and he said we're going to look into it. All right? So don't you worry. We're looking into it. All right. Now, hopefully that gets changed. Hopefully. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. My camera's reversed, man. Fuck, dude. Damn it. Damn it, dude. The camera's reversed, dude. I don't know. I don't know. You guys have anything else? Guys, have anything else to add? What's going on the YouTube, man? Yeah, Living Dead is just kind of bad. Hopefully they change it. Yeah, I wanted to make an updated video, at least my post level 80 thoughts. Again, if you haven't seen my media tour video, it is not up here. It is not over there. You know what? Let's check the graveyard too. Nope, it ain't here either. You know where it's at? It's in the description. It's in the description. Check the description. See a lovely 2-hour video. Also, in the description of that video will be timestamps. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to make an updated video because, you know, people making updated vids and shit. So, majority, like I said earlier though in the stream, majority of my personal thoughts have stayed the same more or less. Just some things here or there, you know. But we'll see. This is the night before the patch, dude. The night before the patch. When all was right, or whatever that Christmas fucking rhyme is, dude. You know, we'll see what happens tomorrow, man. Anyway, yo, yeah. So I think I'm done, and yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna sign off. So let's see. See you guys later. Peace.